you see the screen?
Yeah, now I do.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do, give me a couple of moments because it's going to run all the cells because it's going to take a bit of time because it has a lot of stuff. So yeah, okay. So you will see it soon.
That's okay.
So what we are going to do today is what we wanted to do was now add these several. So what we did was we were going to we have separated them based on categories. Now what we are going to do is in these categories we have about 200 different items, products. So those 200 different products we want to put them all together and put them all together and by one below the other so that we get a fairly good number of training data, because right now we have about 1941 days. That's all for each item, but instead of summing them up, we were thinking of summing them up and putting them together. Instead we can actually create the same with multiple with a sort of increasing number of training data. So for that what we're going to do is now this is I think for the first item that we have added, foods 1, and what we have to now do is we have to add one by one the cost selling price of each of these items. For that you were suggesting that we'll have to do a transpose of this, take it row by and then do a reverse transpose so that it's actually going to make sense for us easily. We can do it easily. So what okay, so let's start that. So I'm going to say, let's say we have this. So you meant to say that we have to do a transpose of this.
So first thing first, before we do that, if you just go up to just scroll to this latest data frame that we have. So now this data frame is for 1941 days. It contains the selling price. Now here, so these are all inputs, right? These are all X's.
Yes.
So now the question is, do you want to keep your Y here or you want to keep your Y separately?
Oh yes, you have to. Yeah, you have to add them as well, right?
No, but that's the thing. We can do it both ways. See, basically, we have to give it as X and Y to the linear regression model.
Yes.
So we can do it either here or we can do it separately, whichever way.
I think so. The better idea would be whether we keep it here or not, we will have to create a compatible or the whole creation of Y at the same time.
That is one advantage, because if you put them together, then at least we guarantee that they are sort of compatible rather than if we sort of mix them together later.
Yeah. That's true. So that is one thing, but anyway, the task we preferably do it right now. Since because for instance you have I'm trying to see if the sales prices, if we have arranged them in the same way, because I don't think so. I'll have to see where are the sales prices. I'll just try.
This will be the actual sales data, the number of items sold.
Yeah. But okay, let me see this one. So yeah, we have it in this form. So it's actually nice. We don't have to do any transpose or anything. So we will just now have to extract those which contains foods underscore 1 that we have to extract it, so that we will have if I'm not wrong about 216 rows. We need to now get 216 rows. So how do we do that? We'll have to look at the indexes and a specific can we do some form of a regular expression, some form of an analysis of these indices, so that we only pick. Okay, we can say first
no, we don't really get that's the advantage. See, the advantage of having it this way is that we can just, what we need is, see, for example, if you look at how do you find out the total number, can you see count or something, .count?
What do you want?
I want to just find out the total number of rows in this. We know it is 3047, but programmatically.
Okay.
Okay, so
no, it is. It's saying it just says D1 is 30. So 3049. Each one column, how many rows are there? It is saying.
I see.
Yeah. This one. Oh no, this is not. This is a method. So what do you want? What are you trying to?
I want to find out by programmatically. I want to find out how many rows we have. So we have now 38 seats. What 3849?
I mean, maybe the shape will do.
Yeah, let's see shape. There's no shape. That's a NumPy pure.
Yeah, shape. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then shape and then 0 of that, I guess.
And then we'll do a 0 of that. Yeah.
Okay. So now what we will do is we can now actually loop through until we get to 0 to 3049, right? And each one of them. So for example, let's take this. Let us take the first one. So that is sales.
Before that, we now have to whittle down this to only food_1 because this contains 3000.
Yes, of course.
So the first step is to get only to 216 of them. Of course, what we can do is, because we know it is 216, we can say, okay, I'm going to go from 0 to 215. But I think that's not a good idea.
No, we can't. Yeah.
We first have to bring focus only on the food_1 category of items. So for that, this is why I asked you, do you think we can, for instance, I want to say, I want to do, I can, because the idea is I need to be able to see the index. For instance, this one index is this. So I want to say, for instance, so would you be able to address a given, so for instance, if I say index of 0 is this, so can I do
usually the best thing to do is to take this and put it as a column, usually. So create a column out of this saying that category or something like that. No, that is you create a new column.
No, I'm just trying to see if can I use the index to get the
no then data. You can use the index, I think, directly as that. So for example, how do you get it?
So let me see how to use. Okay,
because you have a single index, it shouldn't be too tough. For example, if you do
exactly.
Index, you have to do $lock. You have to do a lock.
It's a lock? Okay,
yeah.
Because I was doing an iLock.
Because iLock will always take it as integer. So lock means you can just try the index of the thing.
Label based, but also using Boolean array.
Yeah.
So let me see. Let me try this. Okay, yeah, it does a fairly good job. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to create an index set. So for instance, you have this. Let's go, for instance, for index this. I want to say if foods_1 in index vals, then I'm going to add it into, I'm going to say indices for foods_1. Okay. If I want to create an index set for foods_1, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to append it. Foods_1.
Are we only doing foods_1 or all foods? Only foods_1.
We are doing foods_1 because there are 2 or 3 categories, I think, of foods.
Okay.
So yeah, and then it should be fine. And then so this should be now shape. No, not shape. It's a list. So 216, which is what we expected.
Okay.
So 216 is the length of the food, one number of food an item. So now with this indices, what I can do is create a new sales CA, but foods one. And for this, this is what I have to do. Now in this, what we'll have is, okay, let's see. So I'm going to
see, that's the thing. See, this is actually a little, what I would, what I'm going to suggest is, see, you have foods one, right? Now, all you have to do is really extract out all these from that, what do you call it? See, if you just go up a little. No, actually we lost the data frame. If you just do that data frame.
I want to do that. I'll do that. Just a second.
Right. So what we can do is, what we have to do here in this case is a query. That's it. So now if you look at this query, let's say if the problem is you can't run a query on an index. If you set it to be a column, right? And if you specify the column and you can run a query on the column saying that if you split that column name and the first, what do you call, that is foods and one are the first two indices of that, then that is your, those are your extracted rows.
Yeah.
So that is usually the more Pythonic way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So in, okay. So just a second, because now what I'm thinking is that, for instance, here, if you look at this, we can actually, in that sense, when we can just directly compare what this column is. Okay, we are going to do a transpose, and if you're going to, because we now have this in hand, we know the column name. We just have to check if the same column name here or the same. For instance, here I can easily do it this way. For instance, I don't even have to say, let's say, if I can just do this as we did, I can only just directly say foods. Sorry. 1_003. So it's able to give me the data. So I don't even have to do anything. I just need to know. Okay, I just pick before if I'm doing one by one, because one column by column I'm going to do it. So I know the name of the column.
Okay, I see what it is you're saying. You're trying to loop through and extract only those columns that satisfy this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So no, because we are going to see, our aim here is that we are going to do the transpose of this, and then going to extract the row.
No, I understand what it is you're saying, but don't do this in a data science interview. Okay.
Why? What happened?
The idea is this: you do not, generally in Python, avoid writing a loop unless there is no other way out.
Okay, I see.
Because what happens is that when you write,
loops are,
it's a nightmare. It's like MATLAB also. It's basically a vectorized language. So it's because Pandas data frames are based on NumPy, and NumPy is already well established in terms of functions that work on the entire array. So if you write a for loop in a data science interview, they'll be like, why are you writing a for loop? And this is something which can be just done by just a query.
No, but we are going to anyway write a for loop, right?
No, that's the thing. I don't think you need to.
No, because for creating this, adding behind this, don't you think you need to write a for loop for this?
Then yes, when you absolutely cannot do, then you have to use a for loop. That's the idea.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand, because in this case we are going to already have a for loop.
Yeah.
So my guess is that perhaps in that case we can essentially add this one more line, because anyway we are doing it.
I see. Okay, so you want to skip that one thing completely. You just want to just say, okay, let's just pick out foods one and go straight. Okay, that is fine.
Yeah. Because anyway we are doing a for loop. That's why I said we put them together in the same loop. I'm not going to create a separate loop, because we are going to add this. one column, like this column, and I'm going to say, look, I'm going to add another column because, of course, I have something to add. That's all.
Yeah, that's
so
okay.
For instance, I'm going to let's say I will remove this selling price to start with. Okay, just to say, and then we're going to add, or rather, we'll add manually foods 1 into this for the sales price as well.
Okay.
Into this column, and then after that, or we'll have to now decide how the loop goes, because I think we have to figure out a way. This we are going to multiply or redo this multiple times, right? So do we do it for the first time or once, or how do we do it? Because we will have to find a way to create a new, let's say we create a new data frame where we put this first, this we put from one data frame, another column we put from another data frame, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So just one more, just a quick clarification. We are not going to be bothered about the number of items sold, right? We're just going to be bothered about the sales prices and selling prices.
No. It would. I mean, you can do either way. You can either say how much total revenue, or you can find out the sales items, number of items sold.
Oh yeah, we have the revenue as well, right?
Yeah, no, but you need only one because the product is what we otherwise, right? See, it's like this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I'm just was just thinking, because if we have, so yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine. We have the revenue as well as the sales. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it really matters, so we can leave it now. So the sales is the number of items sold, I think.
Yeah, number of items sold.
Yeah. Sales is number. Okay, that's good. So that's enough for us. Okay, so we can either use sales or revenue. Revenue would be more more float, whereas sales would be just. So yeah, well, let's keep it sales and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll have to create a for loop that we don't have a choice. So, but we will. How do you now? I don't know if we can progressively build pandas data. Can we start with an empty pandas data frame, and then, or perhaps we can give we can give all the column names, and then we start populating.
No, so it's, what I would say is like this. We start with the first, that is the idea. When you pick out a loop, right, and you loop through. So for example, let's start, how do you want to, let's say for example, if you go up to the previous one, that is this is our data. This is the base data frame, right? To this we,
yes,
to this
not exactly, but yes.
But this is to this we are going to add one more column, which is the number of items sold.
Yes.
And then we are going to add 216 such blocks, one after the other.
Yes.
Right? So what I would say is this. In this case, right? So for example, first thing we're going to do is we take this data frame. So like this is 941 rows. Now this food 1, right? So how did we extract it? We extracted it by that first one, that is selling price foods 1 trans. Right? Yeah. So in this case, what you want to do is you want to now write a for loop.
Yes.
So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find out, one is, like you said, we can create a list of all the foods 1 items. So that means this is a list of all the foods 1. I think you might have it. So basically, let's say the 216 items.
Yeah, we have extracted it, this one.
Yeah. So that means now, can you print that out? Let's see. Yeah, so this is what it is. So if we loop through this, right, each one, that is when you do a dot lock and that, if you just go up. So let's say you pick out one. So indices, no, let's leave this. Indices foods 1. Let's use indices foods 1. No, come down all the way. And let us pick out which was the data frame that we wanted sales.
So let's say we have sales.
Yeah.
This is the sales for sales items, and then we have the selling prices. Selling prices. We have the selling prices food trans or food one. I think this one will be. This is what we are looking for. So we have this. We don't have to do a transfers. We have this.
No. Then we don't need this. We need only one, which is sales price, and the other one is the one which we were extracting before. See, go. If
no,
you go.
But that but that has only that is calendar. Yeah.
No. It's like we had extracted one part. You know what?
This one. This is the one.
No, but there is the parent, right? If you just remove the food one.
Okay. Yeah, you have this. Yes.
So
okay.
now.
Yeah, you're right.
No, just
this
a minute.
Is the one we have to replicate it multiple times.
Yeah, no, I'm just a little confused. How come this is only 1941 rows?
Yeah, this is 1941 rows. That's correct.
Because it's only calendar, of course.
Yeah, this is only calendar.
Okay, so now
we have the calendar,
yeah.
We have this selling prices, and we have this sales prices. So we'll have to integrate the three now.
Okay, fine. So let's get started now. The first thing we're going to do is, if let's say we pick out the first we pick out the selling prices, because that is an X.
Yeah.
So what you'll do, if we say in the previous one that is sales, that is the selling price, just copy that data frame. I'm losing track.
So yeah, sales. Okay, we have. That's what I'm going to just a second. I'm just going to add a remark saying that. This one. Then we have selling prices. So and then we have sales. Here, sales contains all the sales items. Okay, so this is what we are trying to do, and so these are the three things we are trying to integrate.
Right.
And how let's go. So let's say now we'll have to add. I mean.
Okay, no. First, let's start investigating. See, so take selling prices foods one.
I mean, you want to see this?
Yeah, it's already there, but let's bring it down.
Yeah.
No, bring it down because then we'll start digging into it.
Yeah.
So now, if within this, if you say if you see, this is like an index. So if you say dot lock of dot lock, that is lock, and now use the indexes, but the 0th element. So you get this one, right?
Yeah.
Now try the same thing out with the other data frame.
Yeah. So yeah, correct. So this one, and then you have sales. This also works, but I'm not sure if it will work for this one. It will not work, of course.
Yeah, because that doesn't have it. So no, but that's the thing. So now what we're going to do is, the idea here is, let's say for example, you see this one, that is lock of both these. These are series. There are two series. You can now create two different columns in that other one and create a data frame. So for example, we are going to take that one data frame, make a copy. Now that's one problem. We're going to be making a lot of copies. I hope you don't run out of memory. So let's see.
I have to probably take time this week to clean up this entire data because I've been kind of jacking up everything. So what I'll do is I will see if I can find a way to put put a stop and then go through everything. perhaps maybe because I have to also ensure that the same tracking happens on GitHub. So I have to. I'll think about it. I'll think about a way so that I don't run out of memory, and also we have a proper tracking on GitHub.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay for now. But what I'm thinking is, like, for example, what we have to do is this. So let's say we start writing the loop. So let's say, for example, we say for index in indices food 1.
Yeah. So my suggestion could be we can start. I mean, this is just a. So I don't know how it works for us to, let's say, for us to do. Can we do an empty pandas data frame with the column names? Because that perhaps we'll have to do before, because I don't know if because then that way we are sure that we can start populating them in the way we want, because we know the column names and then we can put them accordingly. Like for instance, I would prefer to have all these column names so
well, the way I would suggest a little trick is that in that case, the best way to do it is we just have to check if a particular data frame exists and if it has any items. So if the data frame doesn't exist, we create the data frame. If it exists, then we just append to it. Because what happens is this way you save, because otherwise you are starting with.
But we can just create an empty data frame, right? I'm just, because that will be easy, right? Instead of for loop, we can just say, okay, data frame, and then something like we can give a column names here. Yeah, you see that we can give column names and then leave it. Something like that we can do.
It is possible. The only thing is there is one issue with data types.
What do you mean?
So for example, you may choose some type of different data types and things like that. So the initial data type may be something which then will be appended. So what happens again, like, you know, when you add a, let's say, string to a number, everything gets converted to a string. Things like that. So what
even
is
here I see there is a yeah, go on. Yeah.
So that is the thing. So usually, in case, unless you are very sure that it's a very uniform data frame and you don't have to worry, everything is either floating point or you have like no other issues, the best way to do it is to start with something and keep appending.
Okay. So let's do it. Like let's try what you say. I'm still not 100% clear what the entire path, but we can try. Let's start that. Let's start that. Go on. So you'll say index in indices. Yeah. This is how you want to start.
Yeah. So now we have an index, right? So the first thing we're going to do is, now what we're taking is, we're saying that for this index, we want to know, first thing we have to do is we have to take a copy of that data frame. That is CalTF.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, because remember, data frame otherwise will just keep getting overwritten. So we have to take a copy.
So we just say, okay. Oh, you meant to say we'll have to do the copy like this?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then let us say we will say x food 1. No, x, y, food 1.
Okay.
This is the data. This is how you want to work on?
Yeah. So now this is our first base. That means this is our first data frame, right? That is, we're starting from a copy. Now, to this, we are now going to add 2 columns, right? So that means the first column will be from the sales selling price, and the second will be from the sales. So one you can just say selling price or whatever.
Okay, and then we will have to say
Now first the above one. Only thing you
just take this entire thing, but just change it to index. So this will become index.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
and then we'll go for sales prices.
exactly. That is sales items, sales, just sales.
Say sales, yeah. So we'll just say okay.
So we now have created a sort of appended this thing. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Appended data frame. So the first thing now we're going to do is we are now going to check if a particular data frame exists. Now what you said is we're going to start with the bank data frame. Now what do you want to call this data frame? No, this comes after. This comes after.
Okay.
No, give it a name. What name do you choose?
Well, it's a temporary one or?
No, this is a permanent. This will be our collection.
Okay. So that is what I want this XY foods to be. But anyway.
No. It's like I would not recommend, because what you're doing is you're doing a concatenation. So it would be better that we actually create a separate copy and concatenate. Because what will happen, remember what's going to happen, if you try to change in place, it will change all the numbers, what do you call it? It will change data in place.
Yeah. No. Okay, let's go by your strategy. What is it? What is exactly?
Okay, so now let's say we call it cumulative DF. Just one example maybe. Or
okay. Yeah,
okay.
Foods one, right?
Yeah. So now this comes after these three lines.
Okay. Oh, this one.
Yeah. So that means.
Okay.
Now here, what we are going to do is.
Okay, I see.
Okay. So first, what we are going to do is we are going to say, just say try. Put a try block before this. Okay. So try colon. And then put a tab here to the next one. So basically what you're saying is, if let's say for example, and just run some command, let's say for example cumulative foods 1, let's say .ilog 0. Okay, which means you're saying that give me the zeroth row of this, or the first row. Now if this does not exist, then what happens, it'll go to a catch this thing, except block. So now put an except block. So now in the except block, what you're going to say is this now doesn't exist. So we have to create it. So what we are going to say is this is now equal to your XY foods.
Okay.
Right? And if it does exist, then we do an else. Then what we say, we are going to say that cumulative DF foods is now going to be, this XY foods is going to be concatenate. Now we have to do a Google search. We have to find out how the pandas concat works. Okay, let's see. This is what we want.
Vertical concat and the horizontal concat. So we have to use the axis this thing. So we are going to do horizontal.
So for us, it's like this. Vertical, we need a vertical concat. Right? Because we are doing it along the rows.
Yeah.
So which means we are going to do that first thing. We are going to now say whatever is our, we are now saying in the else block. We say
so
that.
We'll just say this is equal to, so let's say pd dot concat. And then we'll say this as the first one.
Right.
And then XY foods as the second one.
Yeah. And that's a comma. Yeah.
It's a comma.
It's a list.
Yeah. And the axis is equal to 0.
Yeah.
And we don't have to specify anything, but let's do it so that we are clear. Okay.
Okay, just think for a minute before you type enter. What do you think? Is there anything that you think might be messing up?
This is going to take time.
What we have to worry about is just infinite loops. I don't think so. I think it seems okay.
Yeah. It's only going to happen 216 times. So it's
okay, let's run.
Okay, let's try. Okay,
oh, that was fast.
Yeah, that's good. Let us see. Okay, let me just first see the shape.
Very good.
So this looks good. Yeah, 1941.
Actually, I'm surprised. I thought it will be at least 2 or 3 attempts.
Yeah, this looks perfect. Oh no, the selling prices are all in.
Okay. I think you know what has happened. The day is wrong.
What is it?
Now go up to I think the 2 data frames, the calendar DF and the selling price are 2 different. The index is wrong.
Okay. Okay, because of D1, no.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check. Okay, this is one D1, D2. Okay.
That is the only
This
thing.
is D_1. This is D_1. So we'll have to. Okay.
So that has to be replaced. So it's simple. I mean, like we can do it very quickly. You can just actually what we have to do is we can leave this. We can actually replace this since we are at 1941 is the calendar DF can be done quickly. So what we can do is we just have to then
let's see. Maybe we have something before this. Let's see what is there. This is not good.
So this is why I would say, like, you know, try not to change indices in this. If it is that way, leave it. This is what I say. Because what happens is that this sometimes also corresponds with something in the database.
True. Yeah. So let's see. So in this, what we are going to, we can probably do is.
No, it's simple. We have to then again, the simple way to do this is put it as a column. And then once it is a column, just add D underscore with an apply, then set it as an index.
Yeah. Just a second. Let me just see this index. Can we do an index of you see? So there is this index for each of these sales data, right? I'm just going to say, can I put this as a another column of this?
The reason why I say the other, you can do either way. I mean, what I would say is try not to merge it like this. And I would not recommend you to do that, by the way. No, don't do that. The reason is, see, it's like, do not bring one list into another. That is totally not, I mean, here in this case, it's okay.
Sorry, you are breaking.
I'm breaking. So it's like this. Do not try to bring one list directly into a data frame. In this case, we might be okay because it is this thing. What do you call it? It is a sequential. It's a sequential list. But in general, whenever you are altering anything, always alter it with respect to the data frame itself. Do not bring it.
No, I remember we went through this. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, right. So it's better to modify directly so that we maintain, even if there is no order, we maintain the order correctly.
Exactly.
Okay, I see. So I'm going to say day is equal to index, right?
D plus D, I mean D underscore is this thing, what do you call? String? Yep.
then
set index. No, set index, name of the column. That's it. Yep.
Okay. But I think I have to do.
Yes.
So I'm going to go back and bring it down again so that I do everything.
Yep. No. Actually, here there's a mistake. Because it'll keep adding to that. Okay, now there's a mistake. You see what's happening, right? You will have to put cumul is of food, df foods, initialize it to none.
Okay. This one?
Yeah. Because otherwise it's going to add the same amount of.
Delete.
You can. Okay, let's try delete. I've never tried. I usually put it none, but anyway. Okay, then fine.
Okay, so I think even
no, that's okay. The rest are okay because they are within. They are local variables within the loop.
Okay, let's see how because this is where it's actually
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. So we now have our data for linear regression. Wow, that was big.
Harish, you have a question?
Yeah, we've been going for a long time. Let's break.
I forgot. Okay, it's okay. I'll think about it.
No problem. Okay, so now what do we do? We just have
so
to.
Now, one minute.
Yes.
Cumulative foods one is the this is the category one of foods one or it is made.
So the I'm just the categories of food. Selling prices. There are. I do. I'm trying to just quickly see. So the idea is that there are 7 categories. So if you look at this, let's say this example. So there is foods. Foods is the total category, and within that there is a subcategory of foods on foods 1, 2, 3 foods. And then you have the items. So each food underscore 1 has about so this food underscore 1 has about 100 and 200 different items. Foods underscore 2 has about some 50, 80, 100 items. So there are, I think, 3 foods, 2 households, and 2 hobbies, or something like there are 7 different subcategories. So our guess is that these subcategories belong to a grouping. For instance, let's say foods 1 belong to all fresh produce. Foods 2 belong to all tinned produce available in food. And food 3 belongs to everything that is frozen. So
yeah, understand. I thought like in foods 1 there is other category 001.
No, so, the 001 is the item. So for instance, one product or one product. So that is how it is. So our idea is that let us look at everything that is there under foods underscore 1 and then use them as if they are independent data points. So you have 216 food items. And 1941 for each of these food items. So instead of saying these are all belonging to the same day, we just say okay, it's one day, and I put them one after the other. We have a big set.
But the selling price of 001 is different from the other one, right?
Yeah. It is different. So what our idea is that these our idea is that look, because it is categories food underscore someone subcategory, the way it will be sold. Say if it's too much of an assumption, but what we are saying is that look, the way it will be sold, if the price set would and the day, etc. This will be correspondingly same across the year. For instance, if it's a fresh food, if it is available, if it is cheap, if it is available in the month of whatever January, then and if it is a snap event, etc., this is exactly going to be used to predict whether it is item 1, item 001 or item 005 or item 100. Doesn't matter, the prediction will be the same. The method in which people are going to buy is the same. This is a super big assumption, but this is still better than our earlier method of trying to put them all together by averaging.
Yeah. So these sales are for foods 1 category 001, 3 sales. Is that same? And for foods 1 002, how many number of sales and what is the selling price? It is completely different set of DataFrame, or we have merged it. So that is
we have now merged it. We have put one below the other. You see that? So
okay.
This one we have totally 216 different items. Okay, so and 1941 days for each of them. So we have essentially if you look at it, we have 216 different items.
Yeah.
So we have put one below the other. So right now, I think Shiva, we probably now have to change the thing. I don't know if we have the index, because the index is now going to be like a weird set of repetitions, but I think it's okay.
No, the index does not have to be unique.
Okay, that's good.
Because anyway, we have the integer row.
Because later, if we want to put them all together, we might be.
And the selling price is same for foods 1001 and foods 1005.
No, it is not.
That's the thing. Why don't you? Okay, yeah. Actually, what we can do.
Try to do it. Yeah. So let's say this. I will do.
If you do a dot log of D1, let's see what all we get. We should get 216 things.
Yeah. Okay, you look at it.
Exactly.
So this one, for instance, this is for 001. This is for 002. 002 looks like it was not on sale on the day one. Whereas 005 was on sale, has a different selling price, and it was sold. So
it is in the order like 256 are combined.
Yeah. Siva, this is going to be a comical thing because you look at it. The selling prices are not at all related to the same.
Oh no, that's okay. See, it's like this. I mean, see, it's like this. This is what we call cherry picking. Never try to like look at data like this and see what the number is. So you get my point. Yeah. On the contrary, if you look, there's actually a mapping. See, take a look.
Yeah.
$6 you're selling 3. $8 you're selling 3. Right? $12 you're selling 6. As the price increases, you are selling more. Right? So, for example, so there is, I mean, you see, it's simple concept. Like, for example, items which are more in demand, particularly veggies, vegetables, things like that, especially in the Western countries, are more expensive. So, I mean, again, I would say, if you need to interpret them, plot them. Don't look at it like this.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, I think we are going out of time. But what is the plan for the next time? Is to just run linear regression or some other type of regression to see how this works.
Yeah, one is we can use a linear regression, do a prediction. Two, we can then do some plotting and try to see how these things work out. For example, how does the data look? For example, what is the correlation between selling price and sales?
Okay.
Things like that.
Okay, then because this has gone smoothly without any memory issues, so I'll probably keep this the same way. So probably we'll probably keep it like this.
Yep. Sure, then we'll do. Okay, I guess then that's it for this week.
Then we'll see next week.
Okay, fine. Okay, everyone, bye for now. See you next week.